Guys, I just received my driver's license. It has my name, but I don't want to show the front. But I just received it now, and I believe it's my driver's license. Yay! Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time of seeing this face, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you stay. Please do consider to subscribe to my channel, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back, and thank you for all your support. So in today's video, guys, from the caption you already know, I know I must have dropped a video where I told you guys that I passed my driving test, and this is a first time pass being that that was my first time of taking the practical test, and I passed it. Yes, it's amazing because we hear a lot of stories of people that have taken it once, twice, thrice, goes on, and they fail and pass later on. But I did it once and I passed it, and I'm here to share with you guys how I got on with it. First off, I want to say that it's not easy. Anyone who fails does not mean the person doesn't know anything. It's really, I would say it's easy but not easy. Yeah, it just requires a lot of skills and so much concentration and all of that, which I'll be talking about. And I want to share with you guys 10 things to do to ensure that you get close to passing your driving test. Yeah, this is what worked for me. It can work for you or any other technique that you decided to do. I also want to explain in this video and tell you guys that I did my theory. I'm sure you all know what theory is, for those of you that are on the journey already. So theory is where they test your knowledge. You go to the center, do a test on the computer and all that, so hazards and blah blah blah. You should know what it's all about, but if you don't know, just let me know, so I'll explain better in the comment section. So I did my theory like over a year ago, and as we all know, theory test expires like 2 years. You have like a period of 2 years within which you do your practical. If not, it's going to expire and you have to do it again before you do your practical test. So I did my theory, and since then I booked a driving instructor, and my theory test was to expire like 3 weeks before my practical test. And prior to that, I've cancelled like twice. I've cancelled my practical test dates twice now because my instructor felt I wasn't ready. So I'll talk a bit more about all these things. And again, lastly, I want to say that if you ask me before my test, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do I think I'm ready for this test, I would have said like 6.5 or 7. So I wasn't really confident, but I tried to be calm. So now I'm going to go into 10 things to do to ensure that you pass your test. Stay tuned. Before we continue, so I decided to share with you guys my driver's license. So my driver's license has arrived. This is like, I passed my driving test on Thursday and my driver's license came on Monday. So it took about 2 working days to come through to me, which is very, I haven't, like, since I got it, I haven't opened it. I started to do it on camera and I am so happy. Look at it. Look at that. So this is no longer provisional, and this is till 2034. So it's about, how many years now? 10 years, is it? Yeah, 10 years. So it's about 10 years. So this is what the provisional driving certificate looks like as well. So I hope and wish you guys to have this. So number one thing is you have to have your provisional license. Now for immigrants, or if you're born here or anything, the first thing before you think about driving is to get your provisional driver's license. Now this is very important because even if you contract an instructor, that's the first thing they're going to ask: where is your provisional driver's license? So you have to make sure that you have your provisional driver's license. The amount currently is like £34, but you have to check the gov.uk in case they've changed it or anything. So just a disclaimer also, whatever I say, just go and make your research. I'm just helping you to know, okay, just tips, give you tips, then you make your research and go with the flow. The second thing to do is to take your theory, book for your theory mock test. So it's a theory test. I've been saying theory. So you also need your provisional driver's license before you book that theory mock test. And there's an app, I'm going to try to share it on the screen. And there's an app that you can use to practice, like, sorry, not the theory, it's not called the theory mock test, so it's called the theory test, sorry about that. So you do the mock test with the app, try to, practice with the app, it's got mock test, parallel to your theory test. Don't be scared, don't be shy. What worked for me, like I used like a month to be able to practice, and this month it wasn't like I was doing a very rigorous reading and all that. No, I just used the app, answered questions. When I failed this, I tried to understand, oh, why did I fail it, and then I do it again, try to improve myself. So what you're supposed to just go on the app, answer questions, do the hazard awareness. You're gonna get better. I don't even think you need more than a month. Some people even do it 2 weeks, but I for one did it for like a month. I practiced for like a month before I did the test. And another thing that helped me was, so I booked the test way ahead, so I know that I have an exam coming up. I didn't think, oh, I'm confident, and then I just wouldn't know. I booked the test, so it helped me program my brain that, oh, you have a test coming up, so you have to study. Yeah. So the evenings like this, on my spare times, I just go to the app, try to answer questions, try to do the whole thing. So I'm going to put the app, like I said, and it's gonna help you to pass your theory test. And the theory test is like £23, but like I said, go to gov.uk and in case there's any change, but I paid £23 during my time. The thing that I did was to consult a driving instructor. So I got a driving instructor. It was really difficult, to be very honest, to get one, but I managed to get one, and I loved that I got one. I love that I got the particular one that I had, because I know he pushed me so hard, but then I like passing once, I know that my money didn't go down the drain, it wasn't wasted. Yeah, you're gonna spend a lot of money, so just be ready to open your wallet to spend that money, Like I, for one, when I started with like, it wasn't up to 40 pounds, but it increased alongside cost of living and all those things, and I spent so much. Like I recently calculated how much I spent, and it was like almost £2,000, for like a year and 6 months practice. It was a lot. I know someone's YouTube video that I saw, and the person said 600. I was like, you're learning, bro. The person said he spent like 600, right? But like, no. So, but one good thing is, if you can get a car, but make sure that you have someone who is like about like age 21 and above, like as a guidance. Like the person will be in the car with you while you drive. That would also help you. So alongside, when you're with your instructor, you can also do your practice, go to work with the person, but make sure there's always someone in your car, because you don't have a full license, so that will help as well. But for the instructor, you have to spend money, and you also have to always listen to your instructor. Don't be carried away by watching YouTube and what people say and all that. Listen to your instructor, because they know routes, they know how to navigate these routes and all that. They've been doing this business for years. So it's best you listen to them. Whatever they advise you, take their feedbacks, work on it. Always listen to them. If I were you, once you're done with any training, because what I did training once a week, which I didn't do every day, to be honest with you guys. Since I started, there's sometimes go on holidays, my instructor will have holidays, maybe I will, when I don't have enough money, I said I don't have money for this week and all that. So it wasn't like every day since the day I started, but I know I did the most of it. Like I did the most of it, to be honest. Like I wasn't just giving flimsy excuse to avoid it, no. But yeah, it's a long time coming. I did like over 40 lessons, I think like 42, I'm not sure now, but I put the exact amount on the screen. I had like 42 lessons. I calculated it from my bank app, how much I paid every week for him. That's how much lessons I had with my instructor, which is a lot. Number 4, which I've also mentioned, is always have a driver alongside if you have a car, or even if you don't have maybe a car of a family member of a family or a family friend or whoever. Just make sure you have someone. So by driving the car, aside having an instructor, you also to also help you build your confidence, yeah, and also help you to practice what your instructor has fed back to you, like the feedback given to you by instructor. So you practice and you get more confidence, driving by yourself. So before we continue on the next tip, I would like for you to subscribe to my channel down below. It's very free. Give a like to this video and leave your comments. Tell me what you think. Thank you very much. Number 5 is have patience. Always have that patience. Like patience in maybe if it's an instructor, patience while driving. Just have that patience. I drove with an instructor for a year and 6 months. So I had that patience. I wasn't in a rush. It was just when it was getting closer to my time, closer to the time my theory test was to expire, and I was beginning to get impatient. I booked my test. My instructor asked me to cancel, that he's not sure I'm ready. I did it again. He asked me to cancel, and I heed to his advice. Like, it was now the 3rd time. It was just close to my test. I was 3 weeks before my theory test expiring. That was when I booked my test and I passed it. And I was kind of feeling, oh my god, so what if I don't pass? So I'm going to write this theory again. Oh god, but then I tried to calm my nerves down. I tried to what will be. If I fail, I'm going to get hurt, but then I'll pay for theory. But I know that what my head was, I know that even if I fail and I pay for theory again, I know I might not, if I go back to my instructor, it might not take up to 3 months for me to, because I'm gonna know what they're gonna give me feedback on my faults, major faults or minor faults, and I'm gonna work on it. And that was just what was all in my head. So I was patient. I was very, very patient. The 6th thing I did was to book my practical tests. I've mentioned that I booked my practical test and it got cancelled. I cancelled it based on the advice from my instructor. So book your practical test when you know you're becoming more confident. You book it. It's difficult to get tests and it's tricky because sometimes when you feel you might be confident is when it's approaching the deadline for your theory test to expire. But then, just like myself, when you feel you're getting confidence, just book it. It's advisable from me and based on my experience to try to book your theory test 6 months before the expiration of your theory. Yeah, but also it's also based on how you get on and also the advice from your instructor basically. Yeah, and if you're finding it difficult to get an appointment, if you cancel, there's a tip. There's an app for you to use to get a faster date. So I'm going to also show you what the app looks like. You can download it and pay some money for it, so be able to help you to get a date, a quicker date. That's especially for people who are running out of time, people who their theory test will expire in few weeks or months. You can make use of the app to just get a closer date if you have such issue. Number 7 thing which I did, I tried to watch practical mock tests on YouTube. I tried a lot of them, but don't be carried away with that because there are different techniques for different folks. Like I said in the beginning of this video, listen to your instructor. So when I watch those videos, I know that sometimes they affected me with the way I navigated some things. Just for instance, when I tried to do the parallel parking and all that, because of my idea of how they did it on the YouTube video, I didn't listen to my instructor that well when he tried to give me his own technique, which was quite simple and had step by step. I don't know if you know what I mean. I was trying to drive, but he had steps on how to navigate that, which I didn't really pay much attention to. It was just towards the ending that I tried to understand that this YouTube thing, these videos I'm watching here and there, it's kind of affecting me, not paying attention to my instructor. So it's advisable to listen. I will not, like, it's, you can't overemphasize that. Listen to your instructor. And then I watched the practical test, maybe how to navigate roundabouts. One of my greatest fear or failure, what I failed in when I started initially, was how to navigate. I was kind of scared of roundabouts, but then I watched videos, I tried to build my confidence and all that. But it's also very important that you listen to your instructor. So watch practical mock tests, just see how people get on with it. But if your instructor gives you an advice, please heed to it. Don't. The eighth thing that I did was I tried to have a mental and physical notes of my faults. So each time I have a test with my instructor, I try to like make a mental note or physical note. Just for instance, if he says, "Oh, you were driving way above the speed limit," or your car control, or "Why didn't you stop for this passenger? He stepped into the road. You know he has right of way. You would have slowed down." Or "Why didn't you slow down a bit more when approaching the roundabout?" Things like that. I try to take a mental note and also make physical notes, so it will help me in my next lesson with him. Yeah, bear in mind I only have to see him once a week. The only time I saw him more than once was a day to my driving test, and then on my driving, it's once a week and it's just for an hour. So the only time I like saw him more than an hour was a day to my driving test and the day of my driving test. So we did like a rigorous training and all that. We had like about 2 hours and some minutes with him. So yeah, it's good to make a mental note, make mental and physical notes of some faults that were pointed out in each driving lesson with your instructor. Number 9 thing which I did, now I'm coming down gradually to when I had my test, was to watch the show me tell me questions. There's a link I'm going to put in my description box from the gov.uk site on the show me tell me questions, and also watch some YouTube video. I think it was mostly there's one YouTube video that I watched. I'll try to put the link as well, that I watched. Show me tell me. This one will, when he's telling you the show me questions, he tries to demonstrate it so you know. So the show me questions are things like, how do you know that your indicators are working? How do you know that your brake light is working? How do you know that how do you know that there's enough brake fluid, you know, and all that? How do you open your bonnets? Show me questions. I'll put them down and you know what I'm talking about. So I try to watch that on YouTube and also watch them on gov.uk. For my own time, what they asked me was, show me how that tell me how you know that just tell me how your indicators, you know that your indicators are working. And then for the show me questions, it asked me to show them how I bring down my glass, like wind down my glass, side of my glass. So yeah. So number 10, which is most important, and this one is what I applied a day before and the day of my test, was to be very calm. I, for one, I am not a very calm person in terms of when I want to have like something, an exam or something, any big time interview. I try to be nervous, but for some reason I was really calm, like on a scale of 1 to 10, and I was like 8.5, like 8.5 calm. I was really calm. I tried to not to be nervous. Even when I got to the test center, my instructor said, "Do you want to use the loo?" I said, "No, I don't want to use the loo." I've already done that at home. So I try to be as calm as possible, calm down my nerves, because when you are anxious like that, it's going to affect your driving. You're going to be so nervous. drive anyhow, make mistakes. Even when you're good, you just make mistakes, and that will make you fail. But I tried to be very calm. I didn't let my nerves take over me. I just tried to control it and be very calm, unlike me. So it's an advice. You can do it. If you're a very anxious person, gets really agitated over these things, just be calm. And I think another thing that built my confidence was because I have been driving my instructor for about a year and 6 months. So I always have someone who yells. I always have someone who pushes me and all that. So I was like, oh, the examiner is gonna be calm. So what's there? I'm gonna drive him. Yeah, I made beats, like had some minor faults, but then you know that it's only when you have a major fault that you fail, or more than 15 minor faults. So in my case, I had less than 15 minor faults and I didn't have any major faults. So that was why I passed. So yeah, I've come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoy watching, and I hope you try to take 1 or 2 tips that I put down here to help you to pass your driving test, even if it's not your first time. I'm sure that 1 or 2 tips is gonna help you to help you to pass your test. And if it's your first time that you're about to take this practical test, try to take some tips, apply some tips to the tips you already have, and I'm sure you're going to pass. And I wish you the very best. I know that before my test, when I was going through some YouTube videos, I saw in the comments someone says, just imagine that you've passed already. Imagine your reaction that you've passed on the day. And I think I keyed into that, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna pass and all that. So I passed. So it might help you if you key into this. Thank you so much for watching, and hope you subscribe to my channel if you like what I have given, the tips that I've given, and I hope to see you guys later. Thank you. Bye.